Power on. Your device is connected.
Yo, how's it going, guys? See, there was supposed to be music in the beginning there. Didn't exactly go according to plan. So I'm gonna start this again with some music, guys.
Power off.
I don't know what happened to the music, but there was supposed to be a whole musical intro, and I had it all set up. And well, I haven't done this for a year, guys, or more. So you gotta bear with me. I'm relearning a few things that I haven't done in some time. So I appreciate a little patience. So yeah, guys, I'm back. I'm back doing live streams. Technically, I've had some issues, and is my volume on? Someone tell me if my volume is working, because I cannot. I don't think my volume is working. Hang on, let me just to make sure everything's all in the up and up. My mic seems to be working, so you guys tell me if you guys can hear me. I don't know why I can't hear myself. So there's some technical glitch going on. I don't know why. Can you guys hear me? Because I'm having an issue here. In this chat, if there's someone there who can say, "Hey, Shane, I hear you," or "I don't." I may restart this just because something screwy's going on. I don't know why. Okay, you guys can hear me. That's good. That's good. I was trying to play some music, and the music didn't work. And that kind of annoyed me, but don't worry about that. All right. So, guys, as you can tell, this is my first live stream in a year or so. I haven't done one in a long time, and a little nervous, to be honest. Don't know why I'm nervous. Shouldn't be nervous, but I am. Maybe because I'm about to talk about a very very contentious topic, which is the Justice League movie. And that's one of those topics that that Justice League superhero movies. Your opinion on that? Your opinion on religion and politics are three no-nos, but in today's society, that is, because back in the day, who gives a crap? Now you can get canceled for speaking your mind about anything. So I'm going to preface my opinion by saying, guys, that yes, everybody, I know a lot of people are like, if you don't like something, they get all on you and stuff like that. But I'm not going to say that to say that, by the way, I hate the movie, because I actually like the movie. So let's get that right out there, because I actually really enjoyed the film, and I enjoyed it. So I'm going to talk more about that. And I was surprised, because I didn't think I was going to enjoy the film. I actually didn't think so. I was one of those people who actually thought, who actually was looking forward to it, because I'm not the biggest Zack Snyder fan. I think he does great visuals. I think he's okay with set pieces. I think he's good with that stuff, and music and stuff like that. But story-wise and character development-wise and stuff, I've never been a big fan of his. I wasn't a fan of Batman v Superman. I hated Batman v Superman, actually. I'm going to put it that way. I actually did like. I'm sorry, I can't get past the Martha scene. I just can't get past. I'm Martha. You're Martha. Your mother Martha. My mother's name is Martha. Snyder Black. Oh, so Terrace Thesis, thank you for joining me. Snowdub, thanks for joining me. And Henry, thank you for joining me, guys. Gonna give you guys thing. Snyder black pilled me on Hollywood after what he did to Geeks and Gamers. Black pilled. Not familiar with the term black pilled, my friend, but if I'm guessing it's he soured you, then I guess that's what I'm taking it. I'll get into the Geeks and Gamers stuff after, because I don't want that to cloud it, because that's its own thing. You know, like that's sort of like that to unpack that. it's like it's its own thing. I've never been a fan of Hollywood. I'm just gonna say that I wanted to be part of Hollywood. I started off doing stand-up comedy right through high school. I performed stand-up comedy. I wanted to be an actor. I did a lot of background stuff for many years, going to auditions, and I did some stand-in stuff. I've met a lot of actors. I met some producers in Hollywood. I hate them all. And it's actually no, okay. Listen, I can't say I hate them, but they're just there's. I'm gonna get into that. I don't get into that just yet. Let's get into that at the end. Stay on focus. Because I want to get it to all that stuff at the end or after, because I want to get to this film, because this film was something people really, really wanted for some reason. they really wanted it. And they got it, and they pushed for it. And kudos to everybody who because I really, to be honest, I never thought they were going to get this. Even though I used to hear a lot of YouTubers and my friends that are YouTubers every day pushing for this, you know, Zack Snyder cut, Zack Snyder, gotta get the Snyder cut out, and people kept at it, and you know, like that was, and you guys, I think the minute we smell a little blood, you know, we smell a little weakness that Hollywood could actually maybe change or can bring something about, we go for the jugular there, and they did, and they brought it, which is a huge accomplishment. I mean, I think people online were responsible for Deadpool, which was the first accomplishment. And people really wanted that film, and they shot, and Ryan Reynolds, his PR department, and him, they really pushed for that, and people online helped them, and that was the first win. I think the second win was, I think, the Sonic the Hedgehog, like big win. I mean, major blockbuster win. Second win, I think, was Sonic the Hedgehog, when people didn't like the look of it, and they went hardcore for it. Apollo Patriot, thanks for coming and joining me. I was looking forward to it, he says, but Zach ruined it for me. You know, I think you guys, if you guys got to know some of these people behind the scenes, I think you guys would never watch a movie ever again. And so that's why it's sort of like, in some ways, you got to sort of like take how you feel about individuals and how you feel about the art, because art is art, right? People who are a certain personality. That's why you should never meet your heroes, they say, because these people, they're not what you ever expect them to be. And so I think anytime you try to meet your, like, I mean, you should have seen, like, I was a huge Leaf fan growing up, and as a huge Leaf fan, hockey, that is, because I'm Canadian, eh? So I always wanted to meet, you know, get autographs from my favorite players, and I remember I was standing outside as a little kid, the locker room, waiting for Grant Fuhr, who played for the Leafs at the time. He was one of my favorite goalie, and I wanted his autograph, and you know, it's not like there was a lineup of people. It was just me and some friends that were there, because we knew some people who worked at the Maple Leaf Gardens, and they let us in. He walked away from me. Like, he just turned away from me and just kept walking. And I was like, little kid asking for an autograph. And I remember it was my first kick in the groin from somebody you admired and someone you cared about, and, you know, and you had his jerseys and stuff like that. So it was like, that was to know these people, but that didn't mean I hated the Leafs after, just because of that, right? It soured me on it, but you know, so you kind of, I think at some point you sort of have to, because if we start to get to know these people, we we would never watch a film ever again. And I know it's sort of like, maybe we shouldn't watch films ever again if these people are jerks. And we made them that way too, by the way. We put them on that pedestal. We put these people high up, like on the soapbox that they reside, and it's sort of like, that's sort of our fault. We should never have looked like, they're just people, man. They're just people. And yes, they're artistic, and yes, they're good at what they do, but they don't deserve the kind of adoration, and they don't deserve the kind of like, yeah, they deserve admiration, but not adoration. You know, admiration is fine, adoration is not. I think that makes them, you know, sort of narcissistic. but like an unhealthy level of narcissism. It's Hollywood. They hate us, but I like fan-made Star Wars movies. Yeah, fan-made stuff is. I'm gonna get to all that stuff after. So let me because I don't want this to like. I want to get more into like I'm waiting for more people, but at the same time, I do really think this is what you guys are bringing up are important discussion points, and I really want to discuss all these things with you because this is important stuff. Because I think the direction that Hollywood is in a crisis, and I think they don't want to believe that they're in crisis. I think they want to believe that they're healthy and they're in denial. My personal opinion, I believe they're in denial about it. They've been in crisis for a really long time. Nobody trusts them. Nobody trusts their nobody trusts the celebrities. Nobody trusts them. Everybody's they're and it does seem like they're out. They hate us. It does seem that. It seems like there's a high level of unappreciation for the fandom and for fans alike. And I know they have this sort of wall that they put, this little screen that they put where they're on one side and we're on the other side. And I get that. But they're at a whole different level. Like sports, it's funny. I like to compare sports because, like athletes, I think go far more out of their way to appreciate the fandom. Like they're sort of like these guys. They understand that fans pay the tickets, fans buy the jerseys, fans do these things. You gotta sort of put fans above everything else. And a lot of times, I think in sports they do way more and better for fandom than Hollywood, which is the same thing. I mean, Hollywood types like to present themselves as artists, and they don't owe anybody anything. But yeah, you can do art in your basement, or hell, put your own damn YouTube channel up and start your own art there. Make your comedy, make your movies, do whatever the hell you want, and do it for free like someone else, and then see how far you get. But because you got the love of fans and you got the support of fans, you can afford the yacht, you can afford the lifestyle you guys live, and you can afford to make more of that. And that needs to be addressed, that needs to be supported, and that needs to be appreciated. And more and more we're seeing that it's just not. And but there's a two-way street to that as well, which I'll unpack. First, let's get into the film. I liked it. I 4 hours still, guys. 4 hours. Like I'm sitting there and I'm like, I was getting like butt rot. I'm just like, oh geez, this how much time? Oh, like it felt 4 hours. Like it really did. Like I know people are like, well, was it a good 4 hours? The movie was good, but I felt the 4 hours. Maybe because I had seen a lot of it before, so it's kind of me rewatching a lot of that. But there was so much new to it that I did appreciate it, and that I did think it was worth being made. And I was surprised because I didn't expect to like this film. I didn't. I went in thinking, do we really want? Do we really need this? I mean, they're not going to. Warner Brothers isn't going to, make more of these. So what's the point, right? But I wasn't a hater of the original, the one that Whedon did. And I didn't love it. I didn't think it was a masterpiece. I think it was great. I thought it was fun. I thought it was silly, and I think if you could accept it on a silly, stupid level, the way I did, I think it was fine. But this was just way better. This was way better. It wasn't even comparable, I think. And I was surprised. I didn't expect to like the film as much as I did. Now, as much as I liked the film, I will say on one hand I liked it, but on the other hand, I also didn't like what he did with the characters. And that's my biggest problem with Zack Snyder is his depiction of the superheroes. I never liked his vision of Superman. It was too dark. I mean, I don't like that vision of Superman. I still won't accept him as much as people get all upset about what Rian Johnson did to Luke Skywalker. I think it's comparable in my mind to what Zack Snyder did to Superman by making him, snap someone's neck. Superman, and it was like, well, he had no choice because Superman, you're a writer. Don't say there's no choice. You can always, as a good writer, you could find an alternative to snapping a neck. You made Superman snap a neck because that was the point. Superman had to snap a neck. And that was the point of how he wrote the character. I don't know if he wrote it, but someone wrote it. I'm not sure if he wrote the movie. But whatever was done purposefully. They wanted Superman to snap a neck because they wanted him to be dark. And I'm sorry, we don't need more darkness in our life. Superman is a beacon of hope, a beacon of what human beings are potentially supposed to be, because he's not reachable. He's an unreachable character. He's a Jesus Christ-like figure. He's supposed to be something that human beings aspire to become, better than us, better than our decisions. He finds a way, no matter what, to do the more to take the high road on everything. He takes the high ground, and for him to snap that neck was for me. I can't accept that. I could not accept that any more than I could accept Luke Skywalker pulling out his lightsaber and brandishing it menacingly by his nephew's bed, as he senses darkness in him, knowing this is a character who stood by his own father, who was as evil man as it comes. Luke would have found a way or tried his best, and I don't think brandishing a lightsaber was in his subconscious instinct. He wouldn't. It's not in that, and so that's why I don't like that. I didn't like that version of Superman. Also, a lot of other things that he did during that movie, which was, in the first, if you watch Superman 2, the original one from the 80s, Superman went always out of his way to stop the destruction around him. And that was part of his weakness. Superman's weakness isn't just kryptonite. Human beings are his weakness, and that's what they were trying to exploit, was his weakness. That's what made Superman more vulnerable. It was because, they would attack people, and then Superman had to go out of his way to protect the people and try to defeat the villain at the same time. And for him to always, there's a scene where he completely, they threw a truck at him, and he just moved aside just because it looked cool, right? It always has to look cool. It looked cool visually and everything, and then the truck hit a building behind him and exploded. I'm just like, Superman wouldn't, that so people behind him die because he couldn't be bothered to move to hold the truck and put it down. Like he had to side swipe things or side go. I didn't like that vision of Superman, in my opinion. Batman is another one I had a problem in. Batman v Superman. People will say, "Oh, Batman's killed before and shot," and I'm not saying that. Again, I'm going to go back to the Luke Skywalker thing. I'm not saying it's impossible for Batman to pull out a gun. I'm not saying it's impossible for Batman to shoot someone or even think about hurting someone like that. What I'm saying is that you have to give me that. Like this is the Batman we knew, which was before this, right? A Batman who wouldn't do this, and then they're giving me a Batman that would. Now we're supposed to explain all that because he's a jaded Batman, and they showed us the picture of Joker, the suit of Robin, that he was killed by Joker, and so all that stuff jaded him. However, I didn't see that. I didn't see those movies, and that's another problem with these films, is that because they rushed everything, and they didn't give us. Because they rushed everything, they tried to catch up to Marvel. So they didn't give us the proper Batman build-up to make him into that dark figure. I would have liked to have seen the sequence that led to him being dark, that particular dark. Like I want to see that. So the jump from him being like the normal Batman that we're used to boom, this dark this dark Batman. I didn't get to see that. So it was just this really large leap. For us to make psychologically, and some people did, because some people are hardcore comic book fans, and maybe they know all the stories that led to him to do that, but not everybody did. And I mean, I read a lot of those comics, but I still didn't like that portrayal of him. This was my personal choice. Snowdub, you say, never was a big DC fan, so this doesn't affect me as much as others. I will watch it this weekend. Yeah, I mean, I respect that, dude. I respect that. I mean, not everybody is a fan of Justice League or superhero movies in general. I think people are suffering from superhero fatigue, to be honest. And and I'm definitely, like, I love Marvel, but I love DC. I love them both. I'm not one or the other. I like them both. I'm definitely not gonna. Don't give a crap. I don't give any darn about Marvel anymore. I just don't care what they've done. What they've done, I just can't. I just whatever. I'm done with it. I'm done with a lot of this stuff. Just only reason I watched this was curiosity more than anything, because normally I'd be like, Hollywood is really as Apollo Patriot put a black pilled me for a while now. Like they've really, I've really hated. I mean, I'm fed up with Hollywood. I'm fed up with what they've been doing. I'm fed up with the politics. I'm fed up with the treatment of me personally, on a personal level. I feel, personally attacked as a white heterosexual male. I feel like, that they don't want me and they don't want my dollars, and over the age of 40, believe it or not, guys, they don't, hey, Random Brad, boy, how you doing? Boy, how's my favorite Aussie? I gotta work on that accent. Here's my favorite accent. Here's my favorite Aussie. Aussie, that's it. Hi's my favorite Aussie. Yeah, so back to the Justice League movie. The things I really liked about this. I'm going to get to what I loved about it. I thought it was really, really emotionally engaging. So the first sequence starts off with it starts off with Batman v Superman and that whole him dying. G'day, mate. Sorry, guys. Random Brad said, "G'day, mate." You call that a knife? You call that a movie? Mate, this is a movie. I love the Australian accent, by the way. I've always, I think we all kind of love British and Australian. No one's ever said, though, as a Canadian, no one's ever said, I love that Canadian accent. Because the people don't mimic Canadian accents, like, to be cool. They don't like, oh, hey, good day, how's it going, eh? Like, no one does. Like, it's kind of got the shit end of the stick on Canadian accents that you make. No one ever pretends to be Canadian to go pick up chicks. No one walks up to girls and go, hey, how's it going, eh? How'd you like to come to the bar with me, eh? But I've actually pretended I was British back in the day to meet girls. I did. I used to put on a really heavy British accent, and it worked. It's funny because some girls were so dumb that not saying girls are dumb, guys. Don't be canceling me. I'm saying some girls were so either drunk or dumb, but they didn't notice that I started off talking normal and then later on switched to a British accent halfway through, which I thought was funny. Anyway, back to the story. Back to Justice League. Yeah, I thought it was extremely emotionally engaging in the beginning. Like the way the first one started with the everybody knows that like that was okay. But this one, the scream that Superman was doing, like the death of Superman, which again I'm going to say I hate. By the way, I hate the death of Superman. Death of Superman. I'm going to say it right now. Should be done in a Superman film. It shouldn't be done in a Justice League film. The death of Superman is something that needed to be. It deserved its own film. It deserved its own series of films. To do it as a throw in at the end of a film to me was horrible. This is a 3-film or at least 2 movies. This isn't one throw in at the end kind of deal and then shove it into a Justice League film. That's again another problem that I have is that I didn't get the proper Superman death. And that bothers me as a huge Superman fan. I'm a huge Superman fan, and that's another unforgivable moment of Batman v Superman for me was you're just gonna do him like that? You're gonna do him dirty? You're gonna do him dirty? Why are you doing Superman dirty like that? It deserved an epic battle from beginning to end, and 2 films at the very least it deserved. The Superman and the Resurrection of Superman deserved its own thing, and to throw it in at the end of this is just, to me, I did not like that. Which is why we have the problem with this film and the original film, which was Superman was one of the problems I have with it is that Superman's not in it for the majority of the film. And as a Superman fan, I'm not liking that too much. I want Superman in these films. Not like at the end, not at the final conclusion. I want Superman in this bloody film. I'm sorry, but that's, I never liked his just like throw him in at the end because we can't do it without him. I get it, but at the same time, you should have done that right off the beginning and figured that out, and then brought him in and have, I don't know, just done it better. I didn't like the way this was handled, his death anyway. But that being said, again, this movie did really emotional scenes that really hit hard. And one thing I feel Zack Snyder, with all the hate people are giving him, but one thing you got to admit, the guy is a wonderful with both action, with just emotional set pieces, with cinematography. I feel like his mind is like a painting, like he's painting a picture, a nice, beautiful like scene, and he's great at that. And he knows. Even as much as I couldn't stand Batman v Superman, I couldn't help admire. There was just some beautiful shots. Batman on top of the buildings. There was some beautiful, beautiful scenes, like all the people like looking to Superman, and, doing that. He's great at that stuff, like adding emotion to visuals and music, and then you incorporating music in a unique way because his music selection is different than most. Like he doesn't, he really goes for these really weird sort of like artists that you don't expect, and I really think it works for his style. So I give him a lot of props for that. If I was gonna direct a film, I would want Zack Snyder as my visual director. I would totally want him as my visual director because I think he's great at that. Classic Blue Review says the music was terrible as well. No, he isn't. Take those blinders off, Shaney. Dude, I got no blinders. I don't like Zack Snyder. I'm not a big Snyder fan. I'm just giving him props on specific things. I don't like him. I don't like him at all. The reason, okay, I know what you mean though. I get what you're saying about the music. It's not what we're used to. It's not the type of music we're used to seeing. He has these very weird selections, and it's one of those you either like it or you hate it. And it's one of those situations. You could either like that selection, or you could hate it. I don't think the musical score is something that would work for every film. I don't think you could pluck his music and then put it in another film, and it would work. I don't think that's the case. But I think for his style, which is this very slow motion build up, and if you notice, he picks music always with. It's almost describing the scene. Like the music will say, the music will actually have in it, what is actually happening in the scene. So it's almost like a little bit of exposition. It's like slight exposition he actually puts within the music. It's kind of on the nose. I could see people saying that's just silly and stupid. Like, and I will say, I find it repetitive too. Like, I didn't need to hear every time Wonder Woman was on the on the scene. Like, I didn't need to hear like that. I didn't need to hear that every single time. I think he could stand to have a little variation, and then every time he came on, okay, I get it. That's her score, but it doesn't. I think it's good in the beginning when you're introducing a character, but he kept repeating that over and over. So I will say that got monotonous and annoying. I noticed it more towards the end too, because I just like every time Wonder Woman comes on the scene, I have to hear that like I don't want to hear that every single time she comes on. It was annoying. So yeah, so the music, I could understand people not liking the music. I could get that. I could understand that. I liked it for the most part. It's not the greatest, but I did like it for the most part. I like he used how it works in his films. I hate his characters, dude. I hate how I can't stand his Flash. I'm going to say this right off the bat. His Flash is the worst Flash I have ever seen. Even though I liked Flash better in this film because they gave him more to do in this film, without spoilers, they gave the Flash more clout and more things for him to do in this film, and he mattered more. In the first version of this, the Whedon version, he was just a joke to me, and I hated him even more because he was like, why is he even there? People run faster than him all the time, and he constantly with the lightning everywhere he went. It was lightning. And dude, if you had lightning every time you ran just from here to there, man, do you imagine the electric shocks? Just people walking around, him saving people, just tasing everybody. But he saved us. I wouldn't know because everyone's out cold. He electrocuted everyone every time he ran. I like the use of electricity sparingly. Like when he goes fast to a point, then electricity happens. But every time he ran. So then why wasn't electricity when Superman ran or Fly? Why isn't electricity when Wonder Woman did what she did? It didn't make any sense. I don't like the overuse of electricity for him. And I don't like his character. I didn't like his fumbling around and his like, I don't, he's a superhero. He's not I don't know. And I also thought it was a bit of a cliche, this cliche Jew that's just what's it called? What's his name? Woody Allen, that Woody Allen style of comedy. Oh, I'm so befuddled. Oh my God. Like, I didn't like that. And I just didn't like Flash at all. I didn't come just to rag on Snyder. I also came to chew bubblegum and I'm all out of bubblegum. It's true. Where was that from? I know that's from a movie. Yeah, you better tell me where that's from. I can't remember. I know it. I'm just like, it's on the tip. Like, where was that from? I didn't just come. I'm all out of bubblegum. I picture someone saying that's like badass. I know it's from something. They gave more story to Flash and Cyborg. Like, okay. I'm going to get into Cyborg because I think Joss Whedon really did not do Cyborg well. And that was one of the things that I really enjoyed about this film, was the Cyborg story. Cyborg's story, for me, was what made the film. The emotion, the heart of the movie was Cyborg. Him and his father, the relationship between them. Oh, yes, they live. Oh, yes, that's right. I love that. Yeah, you're right. I should have known that. I should have known that, too. I just watched the film, like, not that long ago, a month ago or something. The Cyborg story, to me, was the best one. I really enjoyed the father, the sacrifice. Sorry, guys. Slight spoiler, guys, if you don't want. There might be a few spoilers here if you don't want to see some spoilers. I'm not going to try and get it, but there are some emotional impact stuff that happened between Cyborg and his father, and I really thought that was the essence and the heart of the film. I really enjoyed those parts. And so I think that Zack Snyder did great by bringing in that story. Although, again, it also, every time I like something, it brings up a problem for me. So because I like that, and it brings up a problem because another thing that needs to be flushed out more. Cyborg needs his own story, and this is another problem that I have with these whole films, is that because they rushed it so much, I want to see Cyborg's movie. I want to see. Well, I don't give a darn about this version of Flash. But I do like the Flash. He's one of my favorite characters, but I don't like this version of the Flash. But I would have still liked to have seen Flash's story. I still would have liked to have seen, and then did it that way. And then when they came together, it would have been far more impactful than what we got, which was, the way we got it. And then we wouldn't have so much continuity issues, which, again, I'm going to get into that. If you saw the first movie, there's no real. Yeah, it's true. Well, there isn't really any spoilers, I guess. You're right. But there are some people who I've heard, say that they haven't seen it and they don't want spoilers. So, and so I'm going to try. I'll talk about it, but like the father again. Before you guys get upset, I'm going to say it. The father dies in a very emotional way. And I liked that sequence. Although this actor was from Terminator 2, he's typecasted. He's typecasted as the guy who you're going to cry for. He's a great crier too, eh? I don't know the actor's name, but he's a wonderful crier. He's always good at those emotional sequences. I loved the redemption of his father and him getting back to like their relationship. I love that. And I even like the explanations as to, because the first one never gave any explanations as to how they found all these people. So this one was just like they really got into more detail and explained a lot more of that stuff. And so I liked it from that perspective. Some of the action sequences were really good, and so I liked that. I still didn't like Jason Momoa's character in this. I still thought Maybe because they didn't like his whole chip on the shoulder action. And I don't even like how he was introduced. That didn't change for me. I hated how he was introduced in the first time, and I don't like how he was introduced this time. Made no sense. I didn't like how he comes in he just appears in the sewer. Like, I didn't want to join you, but I knew exactly where you'd be at the right time to come in and in the sewer system. I knew exactly how to be there at that exact moment. Like, that I found was a bit was a bit annoying. Just like, why didn't you just join them from the beginning? I always find that like weird too. Like, I don't want to be part of this. I don't want to be part of this. That's why, again, all this should have been done in the first. So Snow Dove said, did Ander drop a turd? She did every time she was on scene, and I saw her face. I just got the whiff. I caught the whiff of turd on her. Yeah, I know. The fact that she got more airtime on this, it drove me crazy. Every time I saw her face, now all I see is Amber and a turd, and then like with an equal sign between them, Amber, turd. I kept thinking during that fight sequence between her and Steppenwolf, I kept thinking, Steppenwolf, be careful, man. She's gonna Me Too you. She's gonna Me Too you. I know. I'm not a big fan of Steppenwolf, but I just didn't want to see him go that route. I wanted him to be beaten down by Superman, not Me Too'd by the by the blue check marks. That's what I didn't want. Well, yeah, she's okay. Again, she didn't say much, and she was part of it. Obviously, you're gonna forgive that she's in it. She was in it before all this stuff happened, and so what are you gonna do? Change her? You can't really change her at this point. So whatever, you got to live with it. What else? Yeah, I mean, I think 4 hours is way too long. It doesn't need to be 4 hours. That's another thing. All these slow motion shots that they did, like I forgot there was a slow motion shot that I just kept thinking, why? Like they're just we got it. They're emotionally, they're sad. Do we need to circle around for 2 hours with her walking? Like I got shades of Michael Bay, but like slow motion Michael Bay. So it was these shots of constant like going around in slow motion, like, but it's like that's emotional, that's impactful, but not all the time because it loses its impact. Do it once in a while. Do it for really impactful things, but not everything is emotional. It's like it's kind of reminds me of the CW, but instead of with bad acting, it's with just like really like over the top slow motion, dramatic sequences. One of my biggest problems with the CW is usually how the actresses and the actors talk, because it's like every line is so important. I went to the washroom and I grabbed the toilet paper and I didn't realize that it was one ply. And that's to me the CW. And then it's like every sequence doesn't have to be this emotional, dramatic soap opera line. And I think that's what he does with cinematography, just over the top. Takes a movie that could have been 2 hours and makes it 5 and 6 and 7 because of all that. Didn't need to be there. Doesn't need to happen. What else did I like? I'm going with what I liked and didn't like at the same time. The action sequences, one thing I didn't like about, I did like about his films is the action sequences. I loved the Themyscira stuff. I liked Themyscira stuff. I liked that was way better sequenced. The fights, and a lot of it kind of had shades of 300, which I really thought like he does really well, that kind of action stuff. And I really thought that Themyscira scene was way better. That it was just more impactful, like a lot more action. I liked that. I just wanted them to say, "Ooh!" Everyone just, "Ooh! Women! Ooh!" That was a better sequence. The look of him was better. I will say this now. Now I'm going to, as I said, go with good stuff, and then I'm going to go with stuff I didn't like. I did not like what they did to, and good thing they're not going forward, because am I the only one who saw this, who thought this too? Right in the beginning, that when they were telling the story, well, it's not the beginning, when they were telling the story, when one was telling the story of what happened with Darkseid originally when they came down, and they were fighting the Green Lanterns and the Atlanteans and all that. There was a scene when I think it was a Viking who took the battle axe and he slammed it into the shoulder of Darkseid. And spoiler alert, and it had, to me, I'm not sure which came first because I don't remember but it was just too on the nose of Thor slamming into Thanos with the axe. To me, that, I don't know if it was done accidentally or what the heck that was, but it was extremely on the nose. I'm like, whoa! And the fact that it was also like an average Viking. Now, to me, that was horrible because number one, you just took your major Thanos level villain, your Darth Vader, your Emperor Palpatine villain, and you immortalized him with that one scene. You've turned him, because now it's like he's not as imposing as you should have made him. The minute I saw him bleed, the minute I saw that axe from a mortal, because he was a normal man. He was a Viking. It wasn't like Zeus. If it was Zeus, I would have been a little more. But even still, the fact that a mortal got that close to him bothers me. And it went from here you got this guy who you think is this imposing force, and then you just humanized him by sticking an axe in his. Before we even got to see him, we already know he's beatable. The whole thing, the reason why I think Thanos was so impactful and his and Vader was that you didn't see them lose. You didn't see them in the beginning. If Vader got someone come and cut Vader with a lightsaber in the first sequence or one of the middle sequences, I don't think you would have seen he wouldn't been as impactful as he was. Same thing with Thanos. Had he not been extremely powerful, like you see Superman take the same axe in this film, but actually a more powerful axe, and just boom, hit him on the side, and it just gong, and it didn't do anything. And yet, for some reason, Thanos, who's supposed to be the big bad, takes an axe by a mortal, and I think he's immortal, guys. I don't know if you guys, is he supposed to be a character that I don't know, because he looked like a Viking with goat ears, so I'm not sure if he was Thor, but he can't be Thor, right? There's no Thor character, so I don't think so. So I'm not sure. Classic Glue Review said, Zach totally screwed over Darkseid. He is a comic god and cannot be harmed, injured, or killed. Yeah, I know, and that's what I'm like. Why would you right now? And that's not like, you've already made him beatable. So now in my head, going in, I'm like, just get that axe that chopped him the first time. I'm not that scared of him anymore. They took that, and that to me, I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but it is a lot, because you can't, if you ruin the villain and you make the villain less imposing or less, then your movie's already dropped. The universe is already dropped as far as the impact going forward. He's not that frightening to me anymore. So I'm like, why would that him leaving? Okay, I get it. Or being just being overwhelmed by a force, but not. And even still, I just, him being included in all this, I think sort of lost it. And I don't even say what Zeus is there. Zeus was fun, but why is Zeus not? Why is he dead? Is he dead now? Like why? We knew that Ares is still around from Wonder Woman, so why was Zeus in hibernation mode? I don't know what happened with Zeus, but he was really important in that fight. And whatever. Anyway. Metal Framey, how's it going, man? Welcome to my stream. Hey, love your Wonder Woman sketches, and from comic book guy to another, how cool would it be to have it if Punisher from Marvel, John Bethel, got Iron Man suit and Batman tag teamed against Darkseid. Yeah, I've always wanted to see I've always wanted to see some a Marvel and a DC, team up. I think that would be a fun, extremely fun thing. They probably will never do it unless Disney and Mickey Mouse decides to buy it, which may happen. You never know. I mean, the way Disney's going, hey, Mickey, I'm gonna buy everything. I'm gonna buy Justice League, but we don't want that either. We don't want Mickey Mouse buying any more properties. You know, one thing I like about this is there was really only one cringe moment, as far as PC politics. That was when they were in the hall. Like says, "Leave her to me. She's mine." Like, and then Wonder Woman says, "I belong to no one." Like, really? Like, do you not understand the context? He didn't mean you were his literally as a sex slave or something. He just meant you were his to fight. You were his opponent. I belong to no one. Like, that was a very, like, it really stuck out as really, like, horrible dialogue and just, like, really bothered me. Thanks. But yeah, that's hey guys, for guys who want to know, I'm working on right now. I know what people ask me to do it. So I'm working on a new video where I'm going to touch upon that nice rock character from Lucasfilm. I will be doing that. So I will look forward to that coming up maybe next week, hopefully. I'm also working on trying to figure out how to make fun of Cardi B and that whole scene. So just so you guys know what's on the docket for Shaney. Yeah, I'm also trying to figure out how to have those kids do Cardi B. or make fun of Cardi B. So I'm working on that right now. So you guys know going forward. What else do I have to say about the film? I liked it. Okay. I will say I did not like the whole the nightmare sequence with Batman. I did not like that. I thought, why do we need that right now? We don't need to know that. Like, I don't. First of all, we live in. I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting tired of living and seeing despair. I'm tired of it. I don't want to see more despair. COVID. I've got COVID fatigue. I've got anger and fatigue. I'm trying to. I want to be a little bit more optimistic and going forward. And I'm trying to. And constantly being inundated with doomsday and all this stuff. It's just all over the place. It's okay once in a while, but I'm over it. Maybe because of what's going on with COVID and stuff. I'm tired of seeing like that level of despair. And when I saw that sequence, it bothered me. It really did, because I'm tired of that. I know it has a lot to do with the stuff that's going on right now. And maybe I would think differently if things were a little different. But the way the world is now, and seeing that, I don't ever want to see that movie come to fruition. I just don't, because I'm tired of living. I'm tired of seeing futures where the world is ending and all that. I just want to be normal for a little while. And so maybe just the place that we're in that affected me a little more. And I hated that. I hated it. I hated seeing the desert and them fighting. I hated Joker. He reminded me, I have an uncle that laughs like him. Oh, man. Who taught you to laugh? Who thought that? What's with these actors who do Joker? I liked Heath Ledger's Joker, but let me tell you guys something. Heath Ledger ruined Joker. Not his portrayal of Joker was ruined, but going forward. Because every time... Now, everyone who tries to do Joker always. Actually, that's not true. I loved the Joker movie, so I can't say that. But he did do the Joker, but he wasn't really the Joker for most of it. Like he turned into the Joker after. So it kind of, and whether his Joker would work in a DC film is debatable. But anyway, the Joker film was great. But yeah, that Joker was, and that whole sequence, like, why is he there? Like, it's an open desert, and it seemed like he just came out of nowhere. What is he? He's got magic? Like, why? Why do they make him? But anyway, that drove me crazy. That whole sequence with Joker was annoying. I wanted it to end. I was like, please, this movie with all these extra sort of emphasis, like, does he not have a concept of time? I mean, Zack Snyder, like, dude, people's time important. Like, we're here watching your film, and you're letting this Joker give me 3 minutes of laughter. I don't want to see his 3-minute laughter sequences. How did I like? So he asked me, how did I like Steppenwolf's voice? He sounded much more Leonard. Yes, I caught that too. I caught that too. Yes, I thought for a second there he did remind me of that Transformers, like Unicron. He reminded me of Unicron because he did have a very Leonard Nimoy-ish voice. You're exactly right. It's true. It's true. I thought that too in the movie. I'm like, did Leonard Nimoy do the voice? But I'm like, oh yeah, Leonard Nimoy, he passed away, so he definitely wouldn't have done the voice. Yes, I did do that. Yeah, so Heath Ledger's legendary. Jack Nicholson's the only Joker that compares. I love Jack Nicholson's Joker. Me personally, I like Jack Nicholson's Joker better. I know people will say Heath Ledger's is better, but the reason I like Jack Nicholson's, I thought his Joker was a little more, again, I don't like the over-the-top darkness. That's just me. And so when I saw his Joker, while I did like it, I did think it was great. I don't know. I think Joker has to be a little more fun, in my opinion. He was homicidal, but it wasn't fun. And I thought he was a little more fun. Jack Nicholson was a little, just his lines, come on, they're so epic. Like, where does he get those wonderful toys? Like, I love that. I loved all the sequences with Jack Nicholson in that film. Ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? I always ask that of all my prey. I just like the sound of it. I can quote that entire, I love that movie. Thanks, Almighty Coon. Thank you for showing me. I'm glad you like my commercials. I'm glad you guys like them. They were kind of a weird, how they came about was very weird. My wife, she loves Instagram and Snapchat, and I saw these kids thing, and I did a video years ago, like a commercial video where a similar kind of deal with Masters of the Universe, but I didn't have that app, and I only did one, and I really liked it. But then I started thinking if I could do that again with the app, it would work. That app is kind of amazing and scary at the same time, because geez, if it could turn in 2 seconds me back into a kid, can you imagine the future of cinematography? Like, we could have this, like, we would know what anybody or anything is. It's just so weird. But anyway, yes, to me, classically, you're right. Mark Hamill, I do think I love, like I've always said it, I'll say it again. Batman animated series is the greatest version of Batman to me, it's if they can somehow magically pluck that cartoon straight out of the cartoon and just plug it into real life and just and keep it as is. No, just leave Batman as Batman the way he is. Just make it real. I would have been the giddiest fan in the world just seeing it, because I love the WB Batman series. I love even their Justice League series. I love, if they could pluck that out, I would have loved that if they could do that. Mark Hamill's Joker I love his Joker. It's amazing. I love his Joker. I even like the Batman from that series. I forgot his name, but I know he does he also does a lot of the video games too. And I think he retired, but I love that. If they could do that, I would love. See, the cartoons and the animation is so well done and so well established, and they have such great storylines. Even like the Suicide Squad. Who watched the Suicide Squad animation series? It was amazing. It was such a great cartoon. I mean, not the series, but the movie that they came out. I thought, what was it called? The one with the Suicide Squad. Batman was in it. Now imagine if they took that movie and pluck that out of the cartoon, like pluck the cartoon movie out and put it into real. Batman has a huge role in it. Joker is great in it. Such a great movie. And they didn't, and instead you get this convoluted, crazy mess that they came up with. Like, I don't get Warner Brothers. They have all the pieces. They have and when it comes to their animation, their animation films, they're so good. They don't need to be touched in any way. They're so amazing. But it's like when they want to make it into real life, I don't understand why they have such a hard time. All the stories are written. All the characters are there. we don't need anything more. Just pull them out. Yeah, man, Snow Dub. Yeah, what time do you want to do it? Because I don't. Yes, I will. Snow Dub and I, if you guys want to, we're planning to do a together a comedy live stream together. So I'm gonna plug it here. I'm not sure when yet, but definitely I want to do one. It's gonna be fun. Look for that. Yes, Escape from Arkham. That's right. Classic Glue. Yeah, there was definite potential for a great film there, and I don't know. Whoever's doing the animation side of Warner Brothers and DC is on the ball, and they're fantastic. I mean, I love pretty much everything they come up with, except for that weird Japanese. I wasn't a big fan of. I wasn't a big fan of the animation one where Batman. I don't know if you saw that one, where he time travels to ancient Japan, and for some reason everybody has mechs. I forgot what that one was called. It was just such a weird one. I wasn't a big fan of that one, but I loved the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Batman collab. I loved that film. I loved it. I wish they'd do more of that stuff. You know, kind of reminds me of the old school back in the 80s when they used to do Batman meets Scooby-Doo. Do you remember that? It's Batman. Like Scoob. Like that was a great. I don't know if you remember that one. I think Adam West did the voice for that. I don't remember 100%. Hey, Rob's Rule, thanks for coming. Like the stream, save the dream. That's right, buddy. Like the stream, save the dream. All right, guys. Now I know. So I'm gonna say before I'm gonna conclude the DC discussion aspect of this. Going forward with this. Yes, right. Ninja Batman. That's right. Sorry. Back to Gasaku corrected me. Ninja Black. Yes, I wasn't a big fan. I thought I would like it though because I love ninjas, and I thought Ninja and Batman would be great. But they made him a samurai. Didn't make any goddamn sense. It should have been Samurai Batman, not Ninja Batman. Not to get all technical about ninjas and samurais. get all ninja samurai nerdy on you.
Well, technically, he was a samurai, not a ninja.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo, where are you? That was a great collab that they did back in the day. For those who remember, for old timers like us. So to conclude it, I liked it. I did like it for the most part. There were problems I had with it. But I loved the cinematography. I loved the action sequences. I thought that it was dramatically better. It kind of makes me wonder because I find it so interesting how much better a film is without studio involvement. You know, and it's just like how amazing some movies could be if you just took the studio, just their meddling, take it out. And you should see some great stuff. Now, some studio meddling is okay because I think sometimes directors get to go like, "This is a 4-hour insane fest," right? And I think some studio interference where it's like,
"We can't have it go on for 4 hours. It's insane. People have lives."
But and so I could see some studio involvement helping, but too much is definitely, which we've got now, just way too much. Almighty Coon says, my favorite impression you do is probably Austin Powers, Dr. Evil, amazing. Well, it's funny. I used to dress up like Austin Powers when I was young, when it first came out. And I used to go to, and when I used to dress up as these characters, I used to go to like clubs and clubs and walk around in like, it's funny. When I was a kid, I had no shame at all. Like I used to go to, I picked up my father at the airport dressed as Austin Powers once. And my dad was like, okay, I don't want to see this guy. I was like, Daddy, how you doing, man? You look shagadelic, man. Groovy, baby, groovy. Yeah. And he was just like, okay, I'm going to take a cab home from the airport. I did weird stuff. I used to do a lot of stuff like that in those days. Dr. Eva is always one of my favorite characters to do. I'm going to do more Dr. Evil stuff too going forward. There's there's a video I want to do with Dr. Evil and his conquering the world. So I'm gonna do something like that. But anyway, can we get a live action Samurai Jack? Yes, man. I love samurais. I love all that ninja stuff. So I'm down for anything samurai ninja. But anyway, so yeah, I still don't like the way Wonder Woman became a killer at the end. Like, to me, guys, don't let me know what you guys thought of that sequence. I think it also was like I was really, really enjoying it, and then all of a sudden I saw that and it was just like like when Wonder Woman went out of her way to cut off his head. I was just like, no, man, no, that's not Wonder Woman. That's what I mean by he kills these characters. He kills their essence. It's like, why do we need everybody? It seems like everybody was so much darker than they needed to be, except for the person who was supposed to be dark, which was Batman. He was like the least dark person in that film, but everyone else just got dark. Like Wonder Woman's cutting off a head. Why did Wonder Woman, like, why would he cut the head off? Like, it just didn't seem like he'd be the one to do it, you know? Like, and it seemed like over the top too. Like he was already practically dead. So why did we need like her cutting his head off was just so not how we envision Wonder Woman or in her character to be like, especially the superfluously like, I'm gonna cut his head off now. She went out of her way to cut his head off. And to what? Send a message to Dark, like that, just to piss off Darkseid, she cut off his head. It was so needless and stupid, and I didn't like that. And it sort of, to me, it just dropped. It dropped. Like I was really excited about the sequences, and then went down. No, I'm not. Again, I'm not going to say I'm upset that she killed someone. I'm not saying I'm upset she killed someone. I'm not saying she hasn't killed before. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying the over-the-top nature of cutting off a head. That's what people do when they try to make a statement, right? It's like a statement. I'm going to cut off the head, stick it on a pike. Like that's a level of that's a psychopath. Killing someone in the heat of a battle. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying she went out of her way after he was defeated and floating back into the. And remember, he was already impaled by Aquaman. So she went out of her way to cut off his head. That doesn't seem like her nature, right? Killing, yeah, of course. If your back is up against the wall and you have to fight for survival, you're liable. You could kill no matter what. But she actively. That's why I singled out that particular scene, right? Because she'd killed before, but she actively cut his head off, which was for one specific reason, almost because it was just to say, "Screw you" to Darkseid. I don't know what that was. It was like an act of vengeance. It was an act of. You know what I mean? It's a level of. It's you know what I'm saying? It's really a different level than just killing someone. To cut off and mutilate a head, it's like a statement, and I just don't think Wonder Woman's the type of person to make that statement. Right? She would kill, maybe if she can't. She's a warrior. She was designed and trained to kill. So and you know, if she has to, she's a warrior race. Warrior races would kill, but our warrior races cutting off heads. You know, yeah, the final blow mentality is one thing, but decapitation, it's psychologically different. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like Vlad the Impaler. The difference between an army just killing your adversary and then Vlad the Impaler taking off a head and sticking it on a spike, you know, it's just like that. There's a difference between, you know, regular soldier killing, you know, the adversary and you know, taking the head off and putting it on a pike. That's a different story. What villain would I like to see done right in personally? You say Metaframe, you say Deathstroke. Yeah, Deathstroke is a great character for a Batman film. For a Batman film, or I would like Deathstroke. As far as if we're saying a Justice League movie, well, we got to finish Darkseid. Superman, I want to see. Superman. It's so interesting because I've always wanted to see the death of Superman done right, and they took that away from me. It's one of the things I'm bitter about. I like old school Solomon Grundy. Or Bizarro Superman. I don't know. I like Brainiac. I think we should go with Brainiac when it comes to Superman. I'd like to see him done right, not like they did in Superman 3, where he's just crazy machine invented by someone. The same reason they chopped Thanos' head off. No reason. That was just no longer a threat. Didn't even need to. Yeah. Thanos. See, Thanos. I can even Thanos. I understood a little more because Thanos had done more evil to them, so from a and you could see that where Thor was then. Like Thor was messed up. He was psychologically disturbed. I mean, he'd seen his whole freaking family, his friends, his world just destroyed. His brother was killed by Thanos. He saw, and so I think I could believe Thor doing it far more than I could believe Wonder Woman, just because of the level of just mind screwing that he went throughout that movie. Yeah, no, anytime, guys. I'm here. I'm here to talk to you guys. That's what I'm here to do. That's why I kind of miss doing this. I haven't done one of these for a really long time. My microphone wasn't working. I had some issues with family issues and a bunch of stuff going forward. And I'm back. I'm finally back, and I'm back to my old self. Never finished Avengers series. Lost interest. I can understand that. I do think that Endgame is still, to me, the best superhero film I just loved that film so much, even though the ending, what it was, I still loved it. Do you guys want to touch upon the Geeks and Gamers stuff? Tell me now. If not, I will drop it. I won't talk about it at all. If you guys want to hear my opinion, if you do, if you don't, then I'm only. If you guys want to hear it, I'll talk about it. If not, then we don't have to talk about it. So, and what I think about it and that whole situation with Zack Snyder, because I do have a lot of opinions when it comes to Hollywood. I have a lot of opinions, and mostly because, I mean, I've for years and years and years, I tried to become an actor. I tried to be, and I was in acting for a while, and see, I don't like talking a lot about other people's channels, and I don't like trash talking people. I'm not going to trash talk them either, because I'm nothing against anybody. I don't. I literally, that's not who I am. I think we're all in this together as YouTubers, and so I'm never going to say, I won't say anything against any YouTuber who hasn't said anything to me about me. Like I'm not that way, So that's why I don't like to, and I just don't want people to think that I'm just trying personally to sneak my, me and Geeks and Gamers. I know a few of those guys. I don't know them very well. And they're, so I don't like, I don't like talking about other channels for that reason. But because of what the circumstances with the Zack Snyder and everyone, talking about that, and I did watch it. I did see the stream. I watched it, and then I didn't understand what they were upset about the first time around. And then I saw it again, started to understand a little more about it. As the more I watched, I was like, yeah, it was a dick move. At first, I was like, so if you guys don't know, obviously, Geeks and Gamers, who was instrumental in helping bring Zack Snyder's film, into the light, and a lot of the fans really pushed for it, and he had this live stream that he was going to have for a charity event, and it was going to be towards suicide prevention. And Zack Snyder, whose daughter, tragically, passed away of that, and so he was going to be part of it. And then, but there was conditions apparently, and the conditions were kind of last minute things. And from what I understood, this is from Uche, who said that he was talking to Zack Snyder beforehand, and that Zack Snyder said that Warner Brothers didn't want to be affiliated with Geeks and Gamers at all. Geeks and Gamers has a bad reputation in Hollywood, I guess, which I'm going to get into. I'm going to get not just Geeks and Gamers' reputation, but how they view the fans, which this is my contention with Hollywood. How they view the fans is a big problem I have. and so Zack Snyder apparently fought to still do it because he wanted to be part of it, and he did feel appreciation for it, according to what they were saying, right? But then, the first minute he's out there on the live stream, he makes a point of, basically, also he said that, I think he said he didn't want Jeremy part of it, and he didn't want to be affiliated with Geeks and Gamers at all. Before he went on, like, not that he didn't personally want to, the studio were telling him not to. Okay, so this was the studio threatening him and whatever. So, and he had to fight the studio to get the movie out, apparently, and so now, the studio let his vision out, and so he's, you could kind of see the turmoil he'd be in, but like, I still want to, like, say my gratitude towards these people, and at the same time, I got to make them happy, right? And so I think him going on, and then the first thing he says was he disavows Geeks and Gamers, right? So he says something to the effect of, I still see Geeks and Gamers logo on the donation site. Just so you all know, as far as I'm concerned, and I know, we're not affiliated with Geeks and Gamers in any way. You could take that in two ways. First time I heard it, I thought it was odd, right? Because I know these people are Geeks and Gamers, so why are you saying you're not affiliated with Geeks and Gamers? That'll make no sense. This was before I knew all the other backstory stuff. Then he went on to say a typical Hollywood thing, which is, what happened with the in the Asian community, the fact that there were the 6 Asian massage parlor girls that were killed, shot in Georgia and Atlanta. And so I figured that he was trying to, like, do a little PR thing that they usually do, and said, I'm against violence. And at the time, I didn't take it as him associating. The two. I didn't take that as him associating the two. So I didn't. Other people did. Everybody was like, oh, he was the. And after I was like, I was confused because at the time I'm like, no, I saw it as he just. I didn't think he was saying anything negative towards Geeks and Gamers at that time about that specific thing. I didn't think that way. I was like, I just thought he was saying, because of the stuff that's been going on in the news, that he was trying to do like typical Hollywood and, virtue signal, and that was it. I love Asians. My girlfriend is one. I just think that was a weird situation. Snow Devil has a girlfriend who's Asian. Good for you, man. They're dreamy. Oh, this sexy man. Behave, groovy, baby. But it was already released. Yeah, I don't. I feel like Zack Snyder was kind of between a rock and a hard place on this specific topic, and he was probably told to say that. Should he have handled it better? Yes. Should he have spaced them out better? Probably. But there's probably a sense of nervousness to him, too. I mean, think about Zack Snyder probably not used to doing live streams with people he doesn't know, with people, you know what I mean? So there might have been some nervousness in the beginning, like he sort of felt a little uncomfortable when he first got there, looked uncomfortable. So there could have been some of that, just not knowing how to act. He's not used to doing this sort of forum. So maybe there's a little bit of an excuse for that. His disavowalment of Geeks and Gamers right off the bat, I don't think was necessary. I think if he was told to say that, I think he should have given them a heads up, like before, saying, "Listen, this is what I'm going to say, so please." All right, see you, man. Random Brad, I'm glad you showed up at all, man. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. I don't think that he needed to. I don't think that he needed to say it at all. And if he did say it, he could have just said beforehand, listen, guys, I'm going to say this, so please don't take it personally. I know you may, so there might have been, how it handled might have been better. I think you people should stay far away from Hollywood. That's my actual real thoughts, is that I think Hollywood is toxic. And people in Hollywood, they're especially when you're on that level. they don't think like the rest of us. They don't, to a degree. They don't. And I know I've met with a lot of these people. I was in, and like I said, I've met. I used to do. Here's what I used to do a lot of like extra work, but because I could do what I do, which is make people laugh through jokes and impressions and stuff. When I used to be on set, I used to make all the crew and everybody laugh, and I used to do impressions. Like I remember I was on Chucky's Bride, the Bride of Chucky. I was a stand-in, and I remember that was a horrible experience as far as the crew and stuff were. The actors were kind of nice, but I remember I was making everybody laugh, and I was doing my Mr. Furley impersonation, and I was doing a lot of at the time like stuff, and people loved it. And I remember because what's his name? Like they was like they'd get the actors to come and watch me do it, right? And it was like so they all I had a lot more interaction with maybe bigger actors than a lot of people would have in those situations because if you show that you have some talent and whatever, they even producers were like had me sit next to them and wanted me to tell them jokes. Everybody's there for hours and hours and hours, and so anybody who could sort of make the time go fly faster, they loved. But my interactions with them were fine, but the way they treated other people, and I would see this firsthand, where you'd have this like hierarchy system of the way they spoke to people, the way they put down people who were beneath them. It was extremely like, and it was always these real disturbing levels of hierarchy. Like the light crew would get shit on by the assistant directors. The assistant directors would get a shit on by the main director and the main directors, and then the producers shit on the writers, and the writers. Everybody is shitting on everybody else, but in the most very condescending and very demeaning ways. And the dissension and the condescension that they would talk to each other with, and you would see that the level, like this person, I saw once where an AD called out this person then went out into his subordinate and called out that person, and it was just this level of shouting and screaming and hate. It was just like, wow, the way they treat and talk to each other is without. It's a weird place. It's a weird place to be part of. And at some point, I just said I didn't want to be part of that. I didn't want to, even as a stand-up comedian, I noticed the same kind of treatment people would do. I did a lot of stand-up for years, and stand-up comedians were very catty, very, very, very catty people with each other, and very jealous and atmosphere. And so I always I just felt like I wasn't part of that. I didn't want to be part of that. And I think if you're a journalist, I think you understand, like a real journalist, not these journalists today. I'm talking about a real one. Not mainstream media. I'm not talking about them. They're no longer journalists. I'm talking about old school journalists, the good ones. They understand, especially even when they deal with like with athletes and stuff. Like there's a lot of battle between that they have to, and they understand that when you listen to them talk, they'll say, you have to put your own hubris aside. You got to sort of understand that if you want to do this type of work, you're going to get shit by these people. And you've seen I've heard journalists talk so much about how in sports and everything, like how they'll be treated by athletes, or how they'll be treated by actors, and how they'll be treated. They sort of have to put that aside to be part of that world, right? And continue doing their job, right? So that's sort of the nature. YouTube, us as YouTubers and us as people who are fans, right? We're seeing it from a completely different level, right? We're fans, and we're never going to see it from their perspective ever, because they're the creators. This is our creation. They'll destroy a character, they'll kill a character. They don't care, because they're not attached to it the way we are as fans, right? To them, it's their work, it's their thing, it's their art. So it's like they don't give two craps about killing off a character that we love, because they don't see it from our perspective. They're seeing it from their perspective. Ultimately, it comes down to money, and more the production has better than what the treatment was. Yeah, like as an extra, we weren't allowed to eat Classic Lou said extras always get the short end of the stick in production. Yeah, I was fortunate when I was an extra, because even as an extra or even a stand-in or other things I was, because I was a comedian, and this actually is a true story, okay? I was an extra, and we have, there's the craft services, right? And obviously the extras were non-unionized, and I wasn't non-union at the time. They came up, we always had to eat in like, we get the crappy craft services, right? The shitty one. And then the main actors and the union members, they got the good craft services. And they had like the separate room where they separated everybody. And I remember I was on set, and there was and one of the assistant directors and I started talking. I made him laugh, and I told him I was a stand-up comic at the time, and he loved me, and he started to take me into the other room where the main actors were, right? And those main actors, I was looking at all these actors that were like, holy shit, this is the main actor, this. And I wasn't interacting with anybody. You can't interact. You can't do that. It's taboo. You can't talk to these people. So, but I remember the AD was he was introducing me to people, and they were like, oh, and I remember people just always, when the introduction happened, it was always, oh, you're an extra? What the hell are you even doing here? And then the assistant director would defend me and say, oh, but he's a comedian. Like as if somehow a comedian made me more of a human being. And then, oh, okay, well, that's fine. Like, what? How is me being a comedian fine? I'm still the same human being you didn't want in your room the first time around, but somehow, because I'm at the creative level, I was okay. I felt so uncomfortable in those rooms that I kept thinking, nah, it's okay, I won't eat. Oh no, eat food. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to eat. Don't worry, you eat. I'm fine. I just kind of like, I didn't feel comfortable there. Anyway, that's just a side story, guys. Yeah, I've heard stories, Class Blue, that like it's not always like that, but in a lot of cases, and it's not even today, they're a lot better than they used to be. Today, they've gone a long way to make everybody more equal, which is probably part and parcel to the whole SGW things going on. But back in the day, it was really bad. Back in the day, it was really bad, and it was the way they treated people on the lower than them on the level on the staircase or on the ladder. It was really disturbing, and it's one of those things that got me really made me disgusted about the business, right? Because it was no longer about pure making movies or pure just enjoying yourself. There's just so much backdoor nonsense that goes on that it's hard to be. And that's why I started preface this whole day this whole stream by saying that we really got to separate if we want to be YouTubers. Well, I'm optimistic. I think personally, I'm optimistic about YouTube. I really think that, YouTube is like things, not YouTube itself. YouTube has become a bunch of horse crap lately. But as far as YouTubers, and I think the popularity of independent films and independent creators and independent people are going, like, I don't know if you guys are aware of the rapper Tom McDonald. Here's a guy who, from Edmonton, Alberta, moved to California, raps on his own, talks about whatever the hell he wants to rap about, doesn't have anyone telling him what not to do, and he's making millions, he's doing well. I think that's the future. That is the future of our world. That is the future of, and that's the positive side, is that individual as technology gets higher, the ability for us as just independent creators to make our own stuff and entertain is going to be a lot higher and a lot greater, and the distribution of that is going to be better. And I think that Hollywood is threatened by that. Hollywood's extremely threatened by that. They won't even acknowledge YouTubers. They don't acknowledge YouTube. They don't acknowledge us at all as fans, because they hate the fact that that one time they were heralded as these real important people in society. Class Blue, you said you worked with Metallica and they were nothing but professionals on set. Yeah, I never had a problem with actors, to be honest. I never had a problem with the major cast. It was always the peripheral people that were always jerks more than anybody else for some reason. Yeah, I do agree. The studio system is done even in the music industry. I think everything it's going to slowly deteriorate, and they know it, and they know it. And they that's why I think they're so defensive about people. They're so defensive about geeks and gamers, and they're so defensive about these because they know right away. Look at how the last 10 years. Can anybody name me in the last 10 years? Name me one film or film series that has come out that is its own creation, that doesn't piggyback off of a sequel or a prequel, or it doesn't piggyback off another property, that isn't an old IP, something that was created brand new and that has become iconic, right? Name me in the last 10 years something that has become an icon that wasn't piggybacking off of something else. Which really bothers me, because when I don't know if you guys watched the Simpsons episode last weekend or the week before, I don't remember when it was, and they had J.J. Abrams on, and J.J. Abrams was like, the whole thing. I don't remember the entire show, but I think the essence of the video was Homer was like one of those crazy fans, and he wanted and he wanted to change. They're ruining my childhood and all that stuff, and then the whole thing was like basically making fun of fans and how they're us complaining about stuff and saying you're going to ruin our childhood, which it doesn't ruin our childhood. Let's be honest, it doesn't ruin our childhood, but it doesn't. But when was Harry Potter introduced? And Harry Potter started from a book, mind you. It wasn't a Hollywood creation. Harry Potter started as a novel. So I should have prefaced that when I said that. I should have said, listen, something that it's its own thing that Hollywood itself created. Hollywood, and I know it's, but they haven't. The only thing I could think of was Pirates of the Caribbean. When even that you could still say came from a ride. What else? Maybe Stranger Things. But then again, that's also piggybacking off of 80s nostalgia. You know what I mean? Like they can't. They're not capable of creating anything anymore. They're very the creative level is gone dry, and it's not even just there aren't creative people. They're just not allowing it to happen because they're so, everything is formulaic. Everything is such a formula now. One Piece didn't One Piece come out in 2001? I'm not sure. I don't remember. When did One Piece come out officially? Now One Piece isn't Hollywood, right? One Piece is anime, and I love One Piece. I'm glad you brought up One Piece, by the way. I have a theory that Jack Sparrow was Captain Jack Sparrow was a copy of Luffy from One Piece. That's just my belief. Yeah, they don't do anything original now, and they know it, and they made fun of themselves even about that. But here's the thing: they're trying to have their cake and eat it too. And in that episode of The Simpsons, they were saying that the whole point was that we as fans, as crazed fans of these things, are not allowing new kids, new generation to enjoy stuff that we loved, because we keep wanting our childhood to be relived the way we remember it, and we're not allowing the new generation to appreciate, because we're bashing it. And so that was their whole take on it. And their whole take was also, they also mentioned stuff of like, what if people get like, oh, we listen to the fans then for everything, then all of a sudden, we have to, if we put 5 wheels on the four wheels on the Batmobile, someone would say, oh, it should be 6, and someone else should be 9, and that was the exact example they used, which I took exception to the entire episode. Who still watches The Simpsons? That's a good question. Two Simpsons, eh? Nobody likes The Simpsons anymore. Yeah, no, Simpsons have been gone for a long time. I just happened to catch The Simpsons, believe it or not, because I haven't watched a new episode in a long time. And I think because I saw flicking the channels, I think I saw J.J. Abrams, and that's why I watched it. So, yeah, the thing about that is that, like, I kept yelling at the screen. I've never yelled at a Simpsons episode the way I yelled, when even Homer in the old days, remember Homer used to go, because you get yourself, stupid chief, right? Like, I was doing that. I was yelling at the stupid TV. because I was like, have you ever done that? Ever been like so angry at something? Someone said either on YouTube or something that you have to yell at the damn screen, and and then like your wife's in the other room going, "What the hell are you yelling at?" And I'm like, "Because Homer Simpson said that." I'm like, "Okay, are you okay? Have you lost, Shaney? I think you've lost the plot." But I got physically and verbally angry at that, because I'm like the inference of them, and just sort of, it's like, how dare you say that? Because I'm thinking to myself, the only effing reason, pardon my language, everybody, the only reason you guys are using old IPs in the first place is because of branding, and you guys are such a bunch of a-holes, okay? Because if you gave a damn about these kids, then you'd be making movies about the stuff that these kids are into. You'd be making Fortnite films. You'd be making movies about One Direction. You'd be making movies about whatever the heck the kids are into now. You'd be making movies about that. But you're not, are you? You're plucking Thundercats, turning it into a disaster. You took Star Wars, turned it into this. You're taking the stuff that we love. Why? Because it's recognizable branding, and you notice they mess up everything, but they always keep. They'll change the character, they'll change the gender, they'll do all the stuff. But the one thing they never ever alter, they never change the logo. They never change the logos, because the logos that's what they want. They want the logo because they want to slap that, because they want to sell it. They want to sell it. They know what to have. They want to sell it because they want to. That's what they do. They take people's passions for things, because that's what they are. When you take Ghostbusters, you didn't change the damn logo, did you? Of course you can't. You can't change the logo, because if you change the logo, well, they can't sell. You can't sell. So don't tell me about the kids, because the kids aren't attached to the logos the way we are. The kids aren't attached to them. And if you gave it, like, they made the Thundercats. I don't know if you guys saw it. I'm a huge Thundercats fan, if you can tell. They made the Thundercats cartoon, Thundercats Roar. It was it disgusted me. It was a horrible, horrible version of the Thundercats. I didn't even give it one watch, not even one. I made one video about it, and I didn't even give them any more talk about it after that. But the one thing I noticed, they didn't change the logo. They made Lionel look stupid. They made all these characters look ridiculous. But the logo looked, and the way the font and everything looked so nice. I was like, wow, you guys can animate. You guys can animate really well. But you can only animate when that's the thing that'll make you the money, right? When you think it's the thing that'll make you the money. And so when they sit here and they tell us about how it's Star Wars is for kids, and we're making these videos, these movies for kids. You're not. Don't lie. You're not making them for kids. There's so many things that kids are into right now that you're not. Where's the Fortnite film? Where's the film? Minecraft movie? I'm not talking about the animation movie. Where's the Minecraft movie? Where's that? Like the big international. Where's those things? They don't care. Those are what kids are into. But they're not making those because the kids aren't spending the money. They know who's spending the money, and it's our generation. It's the older generation. So that they want is the cake and eat it too. So you have this blackboard or whiteboard. Yes, Voltron was actually really done well. I gotta say, Netflix has done some stuff that I actually really enjoy. They've done some, like, I didn't like She-Ra, and I'm actually okay. I actually used to like She-Ra. Didn't like what they did with She-Ra, and I'm really, because you know me, guys.
Skeletor is my alias, and so when He-Man comes out, I want to see it done properly.
So I can't wait for when they do He-Man. Because I'm going to probably sit here as Skeletor. Skeletor will probably do every episode. He'll probably review every episode. I can't wait for that. And I'm hoping it's done well. I don't have any faith in any of these people doing any of our properties anymore. Deadpool was done well, but that was because Deadpool was something that was a project by Ryan Reynolds, who's a fan who wanted to see it done right. And you thought that, and even look, you think that something like, if they listen to the fans more or less on what, so I'm kind of sorry, I'm veering off topic because I'm losing my train of thought. So basically, what that Simpsons episode was telling me was that they're how Hollywood actually does think. What they think is that, they get that if they bend a little bit, just a little bit, that means they got to bend for everything. and that's sort of what they were inferring, that that we shouldn't be so upset because we should let little young kids, which is to me a bloody lie, and two, what they're telling me is also that as that if they bend a little bit, then they have to bend a lot. So if they say, well, we're going to change this, then they have to change everything. And Sonic the Hedgehog proved that's not the case. And I think they don't understand the fans. They don't understand what we really want. And that's a big problem with Hollywood. They don't understand the fans. They don't care to understand the fans. Because the fans weren't upset that Rey was a woman. The fans weren't upset because they changed a costume here, they changed a little bit here, they changed. Some fans are. Some fans, yeah, you can't change anything. There's some purists that will be like, they change they change a little thing here and they freak out. Of course, there are some fans that do that. But the majority of people just want the essence of their characters done properly, the essence of the story done properly. And don't do the obligatory color change or gender change because it's unnecessary. And because it's the laziest form of wokeness you could do. Because if you actually cared about giving females, making women, empowerment stuff, then you should be taking the time to hire good writers, good directors, good storytellers, and making a brand new IP for them, something that they can be proud of without having them to live under the shadow of something else. I mean, I've heard they were going to make Superman a black guy. Why? You've already created because they like the controversy, and we all know why. The controversy is what they're trying to create. The controversy is what they think is going to sell, and that's what they're going to manipulate and twist and mold and spin so that they can then reverse it on the people who complain, because that's what they want. It's a battle with the fans. They want to battle the fans because they want to use our anger, they want to use our passion, they want to use our to advertise the film, and we fall for it every time because we get angry. We always do. We always fall for the trick, and that now going back to Geeks and Gamers, guys. I know I should get more to the comments here, but I'm gonna rant. I'm killing it. Yeah. So back to Geeks and Gamers thing. I felt like if you guys have a bad reputation with Hollywood, Zack Snyder came on. He said what he said was bullshit. I think the people who were on this live stream, I think they handled themselves professionally. I think they handled themselves well, and I liked how they handled themselves, because I think that what Hollywood will do, and they probably did it anyway because they did it anyway, because I've seen articles where they spun it anyway. And I think Jeremy didn't help, because Jeremy, when he went on and rant a little bit, and I think that hurt it, because what Hollywood will do, they want the controversy. They want to make the spin, because they're going to take every opportunity to attack the fan, to get everybody against the fan base. So it's like, we have to stop taking the bait. And even if they spit in our face, even if they do that, it's like we gotta stand tall and know that we got the high ground now, Annie. And I think we should always remember we got to take the higher ground. And it's hard. We're emotional beings, we're emotional creatures, and it's hard sometimes to do that. But I think, especially with Jeremy, I think taking the high ground and sort of just saying, whatever he said, we said, we gave money to charity. Don't give them fuel, right? Because they're going to twist the narrative and say Jeremy's angry because this and that. Jeremy's look the right extreme right websites or YouTube channels are all pissed off, and they're going to use that, right? And twist it and put it against it and create more animosity and create more negative press. So I think going forward, people got to be mindful of how these people are and the money and that they're trying to actually do. And I think Jeremy should have. I know it hurt. I know it sucked. It wasn't fair. But I still think. I think it's at some level you gotta see the big picture and see what they're trying to do, and then take a step back, get angry, and don't get angry. Take a deep breath. Count 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and then maybe do the positive spin in the other direction, right? Find a way to spin it. You got to be smarter, not angrier. And that's the only way to beat these people. You got to be smarter, not angrier. Angrier and rage will be used against you. But if you just use intelligence and imagination, spin it in your own direction and make and win that war, win the PR war, right? The public relations war. So did I watch any? Okay, I'm glad. Well, I should talk about that in another live stream because it's getting kind of late, guys. I'm glad you guys all came here, and I said my piece on that. I will say this: I loved Pacific Rim. I thought it was. I thought the anime was way better than the films. Am I off base on that? I just thought the anime was so much better. I'm an anime fan, guys. So if you guys know, I love anime. I should talk more about anime on my channel, but it's like my pleasure that I keep to myself that I love. So I just deal with. I'm a huge anime fan. So you guys know that about me. Anyway, I think I'm going to leave it here, guys. I really appreciate you guys joining me for my first live stream back. I hope I didn't disappoint you guys. I'm going to try and do one once a week and talk about Hollywood and talk about this stuff. You know, I really appreciate you guys. I think I gotta say something before I go. My channel was kind of mired a little bit. I had gone away for a while because of just things that I was dealing with, and I have to say thank you to Heels versus Babyface for helping my channel and giving me a little bit of a boost. I should have said in the beginning. I apologize for not saying in the beginning. Heels versus Babyface. He took my Disney video and he shared it, and he shared it and he made it not go viral, but he made it boosted more than it probably had any right to go. And I really appreciate and thank you to Heels versus Babyface for doing that. He's a funny guy. You should subscribe to his channel, and I really appreciate that. So if you guys know him, if you guys speak to him, tell him Shaney really is appreciative and thanks him very much. I did thank him, but you know, I'm glad for him. I'm really appreciative of what he did. But anyway, guys, thank you guys. Appreciate you guys too, and thank you guys for coming. Yes, Death Note anime. I haven't watched the Death Note anime, admittingly. I watched the film, and I know the film was not as good as the anime because my brother tells me all the time I should watch the anime, and I'm stupid because I watched the film first. But anyway, and I should never do that. But anyway, I'll talk. You know what? I think I'm going to have an anime live stream one day because I love anime, and we should just talk about that one day. So if anybody there wants to talk anime with me, hit me up on my chat or whatever, and on Twitter. And let me know because I'd love to talk anime with people. Guys, thanks Snowdub for showing and give his channel support. Reach around protocol for everybody. Love you all. See you guys later. Take care now. Bye-bye then.